Hey guys, I'm back again. Yeah, it's good to be back. Sorry, it was like a massive delay before, but you know there are many reasons why I stopped doing the videos for just a bit of a break. And as you probably would have heard last time, I had a lot of commissions sort of coming in all at once that needed to get started on. So I just took some time out just to get those underway, and these videos now will be just based on the commissions that I need to do for people. So not my own personal stuff. So I've had to put away the River Troll and a lot of all the other models that I had sitting out here, and I'm just going to just concentrate on doing all the commission stuff now. So I've got this big giant Taurus guy that I want to start. I'm just going to put him on a base too, actually. I just forgot about doing that. So just grab a base quickly. Yeah, it should be okay. It's got these really large corks that my mum gave to me actually years ago from huge pots of flour or other kinds of spices or foodstuffs or whatever that she had there. So I thought I'll grab those when she was throwing them out, as they make excellent bases for like massive models and that kind of stuff. So it just stops me having to grip the miniature all the time. Yeah, so I thought, why don't we start this one here for my old mate Georg. He's probably wondering where the hell his models are and what's happening with them. So Georg, this is for you, mate, and I'll be painting this hopefully over the next couple of days, and I've got David's ogre to do and his swordmaster guy as well, so lots of red actually in those models. So I hope you guys are going well too, and everything's everybody's safe and well, and thanks for all your messages as well, and wondering when I was going to come back and what's happening with the state of the channel and that kind of stuff. The channel's still going. I've still made a couple of videos in the meantime with some like a new sort of community spotlight sort of section where people have just sent me photos or have asked permission to make little videos of their armies or battle reports and stuff like that, which I quite enjoy doing, and I don't mind doing it. So it's not a hell of a lot of work, and I can do it at work very quickly. Just duck out the back and just do the voiceover, and it's up in a few seconds really. I can upload it in a few seconds, and yeah, at least it's something. So I was sort of umming and ahhing whether I was going to actually airbrush this or paint it by hand, but I thought I'd do it traditionally, like they would have just painted it by hand anyway. It won't take that much time. Well, it will actually by hand rather than doing it with the airbrush, but I don't mind doing it by hand, it's okay. So yeah, I'm just thinking the other day how much stuff I've got to do now, like with commissions especially, that I had to really sort of sit back and just think about how I was going to prioritize each one, and the time I need to spend on each project to get it finished and out the door and back to people. So basically it's a mix of paid commissions and commissions for like trade for models and that kind of stuff. So, and with the international shipping maybe sort of freeing up soon, I thought I've been pretty self-indulgent with my own stuff recently. It's probably best just to put those away and start doing the models and start getting them finished and prepped up and ready to go when all the shipping starts freeing up here, and then people can get their models back, which I'm sure they'll be very happy to see. So I apologise again if it's taking so long. Since I've got a lot of other stuff going on too, like I'm doing my uni as well. I'm in like my third year of uni, and I think most people know that it wasn't going to happen overnight, me painting all this stuff for them, and they were quite fine with that as well, so, which is really cool of them to do. and no one's sort of, you know, rushing to say, hey, where's my stuff, and, you know, what's going on with it. I just get really stressed with having all these projects sort of compiled on at one time. And, you know, a guy, my mate Silvano in Canada, he messaged me saying, oh, I sent those ogres to you like 12 months ago. You know, and he didn't have the money to pay for it at the time. He said, oh, well, you can start painting those now. So it's like, oh, wow. It's like the same time I got another big commission in the mail the other day. And I thought, wow, with all these models I need to paint, like, I just started getting stressed about it because, yeah, the time factor is just so limited nowadays. And I was like one of those people who's like praying for like the lockdown to come to Japan. It just never came, and it's over now. Like, yeah, there's no chance that ever happening. If that would have happened, then I would have had a lot more time to do, you know, my uni stuff and to do this stuff, and it would have been, I would have got a lot more hobby done. But yeah, that's okay. We're just going to cope with it the best way I can. I did get a lot of stuff from my personal work done though. Like, you know, I did rebase a lot of miniatures. That took a long time, and sort of in the midst of repainting some stuff, which I haven't finished yet. With the Black Orc unit and that kind of thing, it's not finished yet, but that's okay. Sort of left that there for now. Put it back in the cabinet, and I'll get back to it one day. I just want to get these done. I feel a lot bit better when these are done, finished, and they've been put in the mail, and they're on the back. They're back on the way to people. I'll just feel so much better knowing that they're done and finished, and they're out of my hands, and they're back to their rightful owners. And yeah, but I knew this year was going to be busy. It's just my fault. Like, I always do this. I always, you know, make things difficult for myself by, you know, committing to too many things at once, and then sort of coming to the point where it's sort of overloading, overloading to some point where I just think I can't do this, and I just sort of, you know, melt down. Have a bit of a meltdown at the end and realise there's just too much. I've just overcommitted, and but that's okay. We're sort of getting through it slowly but surely. So I just took the last 3 nights just to get really stuck into this big commission that came in the mail for a guy here in Japan, and get that sort of underway, which it is. And then I thought, well, I can do, you know, maybe like a 30-minute video every night, just of doing the Warhammer commissions too, and that way I'll feel better knowing that they've started at least, and that we're making some progress. But I'm going to try to, you know, get these done as quickly as possible, so I'm not going to really slow down, and it's not really going to be much of a tutorial as such, but you can see what I'm doing, and we can sort of just look at, you know, having these painted at the same time. So I've got the big dude here. I have no idea what their names are, and this is the first Chaos Dwarf I'm ever painting, so and shout out to Raphael for like showing his amazing monopose dwarf halberdier, the Chaos Dwarf, that he posted up on Hero Hammer and Middle Hammer and all that kind of thing. I think he's doing it part of the monopose challenge on Middle Hammer group, which just looks really cool, and I can't wait to see what more will come from that. I think he's painted only 1 model or 2 models so far, I think. So yeah, they look really nice, and I quite like the plastic Chaos Dwarves. Funnily enough, of all the monopose plastics they made back in the day, yeah, I really like those monopose ones for the Chaos Dwarves. I think they look pretty good. In fact, there's quite a few of the monopose plastics that I really enjoy. I've got the Skaven ones. They're not too bad. But the dwarves look good because they look very squat and, you know, very robust. You know, they look really big and chunky, and that's exactly what they should look like. It's only when you get to like elves and other models that are, you know, sort of like more of a slender build that looks a little bit strange. So this guy's mainly red. I know his beard is like black and got yellow in it or something, I think. He's got a bit of blue on his armor. I just had a look at the quick look at the picture before I started doing this guy, and that's the main color scheme for him. I just got him on my pin vise like that because he's gonna be like mounted on that Taurus. I thought I'll just put on the pin vise so I can sort of spin him around and paint him at the same time. A bit easier that way. So get some more of that red paint. So yeah, guys, hopefully, you know, this will become more of a regular thing again. I wanted it to be that way, but I think it was good just to have a bit of a break. Just a bit of a break so I can clean up. I'd put all my models away, all my personal stuff. I just put that away and just took out all the commission stuff and put on the table, and I thought, okay, this is what I need to do, and this is my realistic sort of target of when I can finish it. You know, so every day 30 minutes, get on the channel, get some of this painted. People can see, oh cool, my stuff's getting done. That's really good. Gives them a bit of a positive kick to the day or the evening whenever they're going to watch it, and I feel better just knowing that it's getting done. But in the meantime, I'm still rebasing my dwarves. I did the Bugman Rangers yesterday and finished them. And now I've taken out my Hammerer unit. I'm going to do those next. Yeah, it's just like a little mini side project just for myself, just to do that. I don't really want to start painting anything new at this stage because I want to just get the commission stuff done for now. And yeah, hopefully those models are entertaining for people too. I think they are. I think they're really nice models. I've got some stuff for Jesse to do as well, so some Minotaurs for the Old World Challenge. That's another thing, like, you know, that's another thing that sort of compounded onto everything else I was doing. I decided to do that as well. So I've had all this stuff. I've got, you know, like work full time. I'm doing this. I've got the commissions, of course, and I've got his stuff for the Old World Challenge. I've got my uni stuff as well. So it's just like, you know, this year it's been good. It's been fun. It's kept me like super busy. But yeah, I've just committed to too much. I've done it to myself again. You know, it's not the first time I've been here. It's just the way I am, I guess. But yeah, from here on in, I'm not accepting any more painting commissions until everything is finished. Everything is done and out the door. And I was talking to my mate Silvano the other day, and he's asking about my dwarves and goblins for confrontation, if I'd ever sell them. You know, to contact him, and you know, I really didn't want to sell them, but financially I'm really strapped now, and so I decided, yeah, I'm going to let those go. And you know, he's got like basically like a museum or shrine dedicated to all these models, and I painted a whole heap of stuff for him and a couple other guys too. He's got a massive collection of Rackham miniatures there, so it's all going to a good home, and with that cash I can then look at buying some more of my collection that I want to do, because that's my main focus now, is doing all this sort of stuff. And I think all those campaign sets like the Grudge Drong, the Tears of Isha, which I think Darren showed me, was it Darren? Daniel? Showed me today. He's got some buildings there, like still in like the cardstock for that Tears of Isha campaign. So I think he's going to upload those to the Hero Hammer group page at some point, which would be cool. Yeah, but I've never owned any of those sets. I would like to collect those. So I'm going to reinvest some of that money back into that as well and collect them. and review them on the channel. I've got a ton of stuff that's sitting in the UK and New Zealand and in Australia at the moment, and I just won't get that stuff until, you know, when I can get it, basically. So when all those army books come and all those miniatures come and stuff like that, I can do some sort of quick reviews for the channel. I thought that'd be quite interesting. That's one of the plans I had for doing that. It's just to, you know, not only do the painting videos and all that kind of thing, which are quite cool to do, but yeah, do some reviews as well and just show like unboxings and that kind of thing. And talking about that, I'm going to, as of next week, because at the end of this week, by Sunday, I shall have finished my last uni assignment for this unit, and then I've got a week off, so I'm going to make some videos on the 5th Ed Magic box set, and some short videos like one being like contents, one being like, you know, the rules of how to cast magic, one giving like a demo of, you know, 2 wizards battling it out, kind of thing, like one of my shamans versus like the Empire wizard, because I don't actually have any other wizards painted up, so something like that would be quite cool, or like the runesmith and his anvil and how that works, or something like that. Yeah, just to showcase magic and just to give like a demo of how that all works, just in case people have never seen it before and might be interested in looking out as to, you know, how we do magic in those editions. Have a look at the 4th edition magic set and compare them between the 5th edition sets, and like, you know, why, you know, what would be the benefit of having both sets. There are some benefits of having both of them, because, you know, you get all the Empire spells for one, and the power cards, I believe, are exactly the same, identical. There's no change. So you'd have another set of the Winds of Magic cards. Sorry, not power cards, Winds of Magic cards. And I've got to apologise, like the last episode that we did for the Chrono Command podcast, I was drunk. I don't know if anybody noticed that. I did have a few drinks before, like waiting for Justin to get online, and I'd finished work and I had a couple of beers and I think I had a couple of whiskeys or something like that, and by that time I got on the air, I was pretty drunk. Yeah, so that probably came through in when we were talking, and yeah, I was not completely coherent, so I do apologise for that. So I thought I'd make up for that by doing these videos on magic, and yeah, I think that'd be quite cool for people to see. Alrighty, now let's have a look here, because while they're drying, it's going to take some time. Go back to David's Swordmaster. A bit of red on there, lots of red today. And we've got about 10 minutes left, so let's get some yellow in there as well. Yeah, but enjoy doing the podcast. I mean, that's another thing I've sort of taken on, you know, whether that's a good idea or not. It's fairly manageable, and it's not that hard. I can do a lot of that at work, like a lot of the editing and that sort of stuff. I can just do it at work at my desk. And when I'm, you know, talking to Justin, I'm sort of painting at the same time anyway, so it's not such a massive commitment in that regard, and it's just the technical issues we're having. Like we've I don't know, maybe you've noticed it in the last episode, but for some reason, like when we're talking, it's fine. Like we're not interjecting over each other or that kind of thing. But when the recording, when you play it back, the timing's all out, and it's quite weird. I don't know what it's doing. Why maybe it's compressing it or something. I don't know. So if you've got any suggestions for audio apps to use for recording podcasts, let me know, because I'm totally new to this podcasting thing. I don't know much about it, and well, don't know much about it in terms of you know, really good equipment and that kind of thing for it. So yeah, any kind of advice would be good, guys. As we've had a few issues, like things like the app just cutting out and stop recording for no reason. That's quite weird too. So I don't know why it's doing that. So okay, I'm gonna get some whole red. Let's get that prepped on the palette now. And as we're doing a lot of red. It's a good shade for red too, whole red. I don't want to do it on his face, just to surprise you. Yeah, I think small areas of flesh like faces and hands like this, just really small ones, I think the whole red is a good little wash for that, I found. And using just red as well, that's the other colour. You did it for the you can see the colours are they're not that much different. The whole red's obviously a bit darker, but red, as for like, you know, large flesh areas, I think red's a nice colour too. And you can always mix them up or whatever and get different variations of hues of red and that kind of thing. But yeah, I think that should work okay. Now I think that plume on top of his head is blue, from memory. It's like a light blue colour. So I'm going to use some Prussian blue. I really like that colour. And I'm going to mix it up with some pale blue. And another thing I'm going to buy when I get this money from the sale, there's a lot of the Vallejo game colour. I need some more. I need some more paints and all that kind of stuff anyway. But I think that, and maybe a compressor, like an air compressor for my airbrush, because I do all my priming through the airbrush. I don't actually do any painting as such. Some depends what it is. Like for Infinity miniatures, I use an airbrush for, you know, putting down like base colors and that kind of thing, just to speed it up. Like in this particular commission I'm doing now, I just did all, like, you know, the one particular faction's like all blue, so I just did, you know, did three, like did a, you know, base coat, mid coat and highlight with the blues, and that just sort of speeds up that whole process of doing that by hand. But for, like, you know, Warhammer stuff, I don't use an airbrush, just to prime it. So, you know, for people who don't know what the difference is between priming it with an airbrush and priming it with aerosol can, I think the for me, I think the airbrush just gives you more control as to how much paint you're applying to the model. I think the aerosol can, which I bought one and I tried it out not so long ago, a couple of weeks back, for the first time in years, because I couldn't get I almost ran out of the airbrush stuff, so I got one from the local hobby shop, and yeah, I wasn't really impressed with it actually, coming back after all these years using the aerosol. Just it does give you like a really smooth finish on the model, but I think it just applies way too heavy, too thick, and it can, you know, ruin some of the details on the models. So I just prefer doing it with the airbrush now, and I've done it for years and years and years, well over 10 years now. Never had any issues with the primer, which is, I'm using this one now for the white one. So it's acrylic polyurethane surface primer. Yeah, and that's really good. It does a really good job. I mean, you can do that by hand if you wanted to, but I will do like repairs and that kind of thing by hand, just by applying it with a brush. That's fine. and I always leave it for like a good 12 hours, maybe 8 hours, 12 hours at least, to cure completely before painting over it. But yeah, I've never had any issues with it. Okay, now what do you want to do with that black? So outside of his shoes here. Yeah, but I've got a lot of these models for David to do, these Empire models. They're really beautiful, and I primed up all the other Witch Hunter models for that, so they're all done. And the other ogre as well. There's like a treasure hunter ogre. That's like a proper Mordenheim ogre, which is a really nice model too. So I look forward to doing those. Get that black another coat there as well. I think I only gave it one coat last time. And you probably saw on Hero Hammer Group, if you haven't, I've started making plans for doing, taking something else on again, which is probably not a good idea, but it's not. I'm not doing it right now, but I'm sort of just making plans for doing the battle at Eastgate at Carrick 8 Peaks. It's the scenario in the Dwarf Army's book, and I've been fascinated by that whole battle report. Well, it's not actually a battle report, it's just a scenario, and I've never seen anybody play it out. And I thought, wow, it'd be really cool to have that as a particular scenario that we could play based on the collection of models that I have. Maybe I talked about this in the other episode, I'm not sure, but if you weren't aware of that, that's something I have prepped up for. So I've got all the dwarves out that I needed, and I have based those, and when all the commission stuff's done, and I'm a lot more stress free with some other things that I need to do, then I can start painting and preparing that battle. And I need to make the terrain for it and all that kind of thing, so it's going to be a big project, but I think if I can pull it off, which I'm fairly confident I can do, then it's going to be pretty impressive, because there are, 6 armies involved in it. The Orc and Goblins have 4, so there's like a north, south, east, west contingent to their army, and the Dwarves have 2. And I will do a video at some point on it, as I'm sort of getting ready to prep it up and get the terrain sort of underway, and got my materials sorted out, and I know what I want to do. Then I'll start making videos, like a vlog type thing. So we go through the whole process together, or just like updates of what I've been doing and that kind of thing. But yeah, look really forward to doing that. The one I posted up today with the dwarves and the goblins from the Goblin book, that's another one I'd love to do. I just need a few more models. I need 2 more of the 2 remaining river trolls that I'm missing. And I will need a goblin champion on that giant spider. I actually need both of those because of the high elf one as well, that they have both of those models. But just one for now will be good. I've posted up on another the Australian Old Hammer trading group, and no one's replied. But you never know, someone might have it. Maybe the Old Hammer group's probably the best way of doing it, and I'll just get it shipped to my mate in the UK, and he can send it with all my army books, I guess. I tell you what, bloody posting out of the US is not cheap, because my friend there in the States who wanted to send me that high elf griffin, they quoted him $200 US dollars to send it. It's just insane. I knew it was always really expensive, but I never knew they were going to, you know, I don't know why that is. I don't know whether that's, it sounds like it's very privatized in the US, and it just depends on which shipping company you go to or whatever. I don't know. We just deal with, you know, just the post office, so. And they just have set rates. Like if I was going to send it to the States from here, I reckon it wouldn't cost me any more than, you know, 2,000 yen, which is like $20 US. That's like express, insured and signed for, and the whole thing, you know. Australia's, you know, quite expensive too for shipping, and I know like Spain is too. Like it's really expensive to send stuff out of there. So yeah, I think we're quite fortunate in the fact that, you know, it doesn't cost us an arm and a leg to send stuff. What else is happening? Oh, I got a video. I got a link on my email account for that mini wargaming. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but I used to watch mini wargaming years and years ago when they did Infinity videos. That's a long time ago. That's like when 2nd edition was around. Now they're up to like 4th edition. But and I think I subscribed just for like a month or something to their vault, and just to download the extra videos that I wanted to see. Then I quit out of that, and never went back, because I don't really like any of the other content they've got on there. And I think Ash Barker took over at some point, and then he did his own channel and sort of just followed him after that. But you know, this weird email saying something about some troll attacked one of the guys. That's one of the creators there. I think his name's Dave. Oh, I don't know Dave. I've never really seen. I think he's like the 40k guy there, and he sort of does a lot of 40k videos and that kind of stuff. Seems like a nice guy. I think all those guys are quite good guys, and I wish them all the best. But yeah, he had this really strange email about some troll attacking him or something like that. So I play the video, and it's about Dave posting some video on Facebook, you know, wanting to thank all the frontline workers and all that kind of thing, which is a nice gesture of him, and post a link to some organisation, Doctors Without Borders, I think it is, to make any donations and that kind of thing. And some guy basically accused him of doing that in order to promote mini wargaming or something like that. And then, you know, Dave responded with another video, and the poor guy just broke down on, you know, that really emotional kind of video, because I think his grandma passed away or something or whatever. And yeah, it's pretty sad, really. Poor guy. So I hope he's okay. You know, that'd be like, you know, like in those sort of lockdown countries, it's quite difficult to understand what those guys would be going through, because, you know, we're not in that situation here, but like if someone passed away, like one of your family members passed away, you can't, and you couldn't see them, or you can't hold or hug people of your family. I mean, that's bloody awful, isn't it? It'd be really hard for them. So yeah, I feel really sorry for that guy, and you know, shame on that bloke for trolling him, basically. And that's probably one of the reasons why I try to avoid Facebook. Only for my gaming and connecting with friends on Messenger or something like that. That's it. Like, I'm not into anything else. Nothing political. You know, if people, even on my friends list, start posting political stuff, I just turn off turn off their feed basically, so I don't get notified of any posts they make. You know, I just do it for hobby and that's it really. If there was like an alternative, I'll probably use it. But I think the Hero Hammer group is now getting so strong there. We've got about 3,500 people or more. And like, you know, posts like just coming thick and fast all the time. So that's been brilliant. It's not going to compete with Middle Hammer, but I mean, they've got like 8,000 something odd people there. But, you know, if we get like 4,000, wow, I think that's a major achievement. So I talked to, I think it's Jay, the guy who's like the main admin there, who might have started the group. So he's agreed to come on as a guest on the pod at some point. His wife said that, you know, he'd be good at that because he talks quite a lot, so he'll have a lot to say. And I said, okay, that's good. Thank you for your wife's permission in order to come onto the podcast. So yeah, I look forward to talking to Jay. I think he'd be a good bloke to talk to and have a natter about, you know, all things Hero Hammer and all that kind of stuff. So, and his origin stories. So that'll be coming up at some point in the future. I'm trying to get the second part of the interview I did with Kent Fury in Australia, but possibly they'll have to wait till next week, I think. And if I can, I'm going to do like two episodes a month. So one will be like just an interview and like me just introducing the guest and then the interview, and the other one will be like a once a month catch up with Justin and talking about all the things we've been painting and buying and that kind of thing, and hopefully playing. Like one of the guys in our group talked about going to the store on the first week of June, so the store's opening up. I'm not too sure about going down there, even though I really want to roll some dice and play some games with the guys. I don't know. I'm still in two minds about it. I don't know if my wife would be too impressed about me going down there actually. But yeah, we'll just see how we go. Just play it by ear for now. And like in my city, there's been like 0 recorded cases. So, and it's been like that for a couple of weeks now or something like that, I think. Tokyo had about 10 today. Not wanting to stick on the COVID situation, but you know, like in relation to our country, it's sort of just panning out, and you know, it's you know, things are looking better. And I think today they had released the state of emergency on some of the major cities like Osaka and Kobe, I think, as well. There's another one. So that's good. That's good for those people. They're sort of coming out of their not lockdowns, but their state of emergency measures. So I'm sure they'll be very happy to get some kind of normality back into their lives again. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Like, mate Paul's got a week off work, which is rare, and he seems pretty keen to play. So he's got Dark Elves, and I think if I go, then I'm probably going to take my Orc and Goblins. I could make it a really fun list and just take goblins, my night goblins. But yeah, we'll see how we go. See how things pan out. Like I said, I don't think my wife would be too keen on me going to Chiba, so that's where we play, down there. At this stage, even I told her that she couldn't go to Chiba for her particular craft class that she's taking. One, for the money, and second because the area is just not declared, safe, and people, probably shouldn't be travelling there. So for me to turn around and say, oh, I'm going down to play some games, I don't think she'd be too keen on me doing that, or not too happy for me to do it either. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm not in a mega rush. I'm so busy now anyway that I could probably spend that time doing commissions and stuff. But I had hoped that maybe Justin would come up here to my house to play a game with me. But we're still waiting for him to finish his army. He's got like 24 guys to paint as of the last recording we had on the podcast. So, and I just told him, just take your time, don't rush into it. Don't get to like a, don't get to it like a state where you think I'm gonna have to repaint these guys because I'm not really happy with them. Just sort of paint it until you think, yeah, that's cool. I'm quite happy to put that on the table, sort of thing. So. If I have to wait until August to have a game, then so be it. Or late July or something. Now these guys, this colour scheme anyway, this particular province, is it Stalsberg? Forgot now, check. But it's got these white lines running across their armour. So but I'll check it before the next video anyway, because I'm gonna have to wrap up. It's already 43 minutes. I said it was gonna be 30 minutes, but yeah, that never happened. That's okay. We've got some more progress on a little bit of progress now on our minis, and I'm going to finish up in a second, and then I'll get back to the other commission stuff that's not Warhammer stuff. That's Infinity stuff, and then just reserve these models just for that short period of time every day, even it's like 30-40 minutes a day, that I can work on these guys. So I'm making some progress, and I feel better about that. So, okay guys, so thank you very much for watching. The red, I'm still going to have to work on that. I'm not really happy with it. So, but yeah, we'll do that in the next video, and the Chaos Dwarf will be ready for the next stage. I'll probably get another coat of red on his skin as well. I'm just noticing there's a mold line on there as well. I need to remove before the next video session. But yeah, he looks okay. And I'll give him like a purpley wash, probably like a light purple wash on him or something like that on his skin before highlighting, I'd say. That's going to be the next step. And for this guy too, probably just do the same kind of wash on all that red. I was going to check the color scheme again to make sure I'm painting everything correctly, but I think everything that I painted red is going to be red. Maybe some on his hammer as well. And you'll notice some parts there are in like silver. That's because I had to scrape off some added flash and that kind of thing, which I was quite surprised that were there. So I need to go with a little bit of primer and just touch those up before painting those areas. But yeah, anyhow, it's a start, guys. So thanks very much for your patience and joining me again today. If you want to send me some photos of your armies, or things, battle reports or whatever, and you want me to make a video, please do that. Please get in touch with me through the channel or through Facebook on Messenger. you'll see me there, and in the Hero Hammer group, of course. And yeah, we can do that, and I can make a video for you guys. I don't mind doing that at all. Alright guys, take care. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay? Alright, have a good one. Bye.